is going over my head a little bit.
You know what?
Is that the caveman?
We should have had a talk about it. I should have just told you, if you don't understand something, just nod in agreement.
Okay. I'm just...
No, you definitely have.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Creative Businessmen. On this episode we had two comics on with us, Eric Brown and Juice Adkins. We talked very little comedy, but we had great conversations. I think you guys will enjoy the episode. I know we did. And if you enjoy the show, be sure to like and subscribe. Here you go.
Apparently, volunteering at animal shelters and walking dogs is a great way to meet women, apparently. So.
All right. Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
Makes you seem caring.
Yeah.
Makes you see.
So
How long you been married, Emi?
2017. We're going on 5 years.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, but we've been together for like 13 years.
Okay.
Like, you know, with black people, we do it different. So like we already got legally separated without having to be separated, and worked it out. So you know, we don't have to do that. We got past that.
That's cool.
there you go.
So.
How's your new show going? I know you're producing a show now.
I mean, I produce a show every now and then. I wouldn't, it's going. It goes. It's a bar show always. So if you're watching this and you're a comedian, you know how bar shows go sometimes. I know producing shows is a lot different from hosting or just hosting. Like when I host shows at the Idiot Box or whatever, I always have more fun because I don't got to worry about.
Yeah, you're not
90% of it. You know what I mean? I just got to go out here and do my opening set and not fuck up people's names. Yeah. For the most part, and then try to have fun. But when you produce a show, you have to worry about I was telling my wife or Juice or anybody who would talk to me about comedy, when you produce a show, it's like every comic is a joke, because just like a set, I've selected these jokes, and if they don't work, I picked them. You know what I'm saying?
right. Yeah.
And so when a comic goes up, like one comic goes up and kills, great. But if I got 5 comics and 4 of them eat a dick, that one comic isn't gonna make me feel better. You know what I mean? Because I picked the lineup, and that's not to say that some people's crowds. Some people need a certain crowd.
Yeah.
Some crowds, like if I walk in this place and I see 50-year-old black women, I might be like, I don't know how this is gonna go.
Right. Yeah.
I got 20 minutes. I don't know. I got about 5 for them for sure. The other 15.
It is interesting how different.
I was just going to say real quick, though, I've got 5 for them, too. It's a different type of 5.
Yeah,
I don't know how it's going to go, but,
hey, with your bankroll, they're going to accept it. My 5, they're like, all right, do you have any money?
Yeah. Now, I just want to apologize to my wife for that joke. It was a joke, honey.
She's not going to watch this.
She's going to leave a comment in the comment section, be like, 5 is generous.
Maybe it's 7.
It is interesting how different a show can change. It's one of the things I started doing pretty early when I was doing comedy. I'd go on the road, and I would always sit by the door, at least in the spot where I could watch the door, and I just watch every person come in, and mentally, my brain would start doing some math about, drop this joke, or this joke will work.
Yeah.
It is wild how that works, and so many people don't pay attention to it, but watching the crowd come in was one of the most useful tools I had when I was first starting.
Okay, that's something that I apply. Like I do. Like I edit a joke on the spot.
Yeah.
Just based off of like, okay, this joke probably ain't gonna work here. If I say this line like this, it'll change the way I deliver a joke. Now it won't change the nature of the joke, but I try to make it less offensive. Like if it's a room full of women, I won't say bitches as much. You know what I mean? Like if it's a room full of white people, I won't say niggas as much. I'm uncomfortable with black people saying nigga a lot in front of a room full of white. Like I know I'm saying it right now. But,
In a room full of white people.
In a room full of, but it's like it's just. But it may have something to do with part of my upbringing. I'll tell a quick story. Like Juice is from Brooklyn. He was born in Brooklyn. My dad was born in Brooklyn. We go to New York frequently to visit family members.
Okay.
When I was a young adult, like 18, I went to New York to get my hair cut by my cousin, and it was a Jewish kid. I knew he was Jewish because he had on a yarmulke. Yeah. And there was another not black person, and they was just nigga this, nigga that, nigga this, nigga that, and I made my cousin, like, if anybody knows, if you tell a barber, if you say, hey, if you stop his hand and refuse a haircut and sit up, it's a problem. Something's going wrong. And he was like, what's happening? What? I was like, y'all don't hear this? Am I the only one with ears right now? And he was like, dude, shut up. everybody does it, but I'm from North Carolina, and everybody
Different
doesn't
culture.
do it. That you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but I grew up in Mississippi, and in Mississippi, if a black person said nigga to you, it wasn't like a term of endearment. It was like you're on your last straw, buddy. You know what I mean? Like basically like back then. Now with hip hop and it's been more
internet, everything's so connected now.
Yeah,
It's different.
like everybody's from everywhere.
Yeah.
I do have a slight challenge here. So, all right. So, I limit what my kids have access to. However, my son Daniel's 11. I feel like you're a grown man at about 13. I mean, like you start making man decisions. I'm gonna let him make some decisions.
I've heard you say that, and I agree with you to an extent. Yeah.
So, I'm trying to make sure that the culture I expose him to is not just a culture I'm familiar with.
Right.
Right. In doing so, like I'll tell you, so like they say lyrics,
right?
And I'm listening, and he's hanging out with some of his friends, and they're singing. I'm like, all right, how would you suggest? Do you have an opinion? Or how would you suggest I have a conversation with him about not repeating lyrics or singing lyrics? Like he's with his friends.
I'm gonna be honest.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like how? Because like I'm torn on some of these things. Like I don't know what the proper.
I mean, this is a solid question.
Context. Yeah, because I can't blame you for them for singing. I can't blame somebody for singing Jigga What. You know what I mean? If like Jay-Z is your favorite artist, nigga rhymes with Jigga. He gonna say it. If you're in the car by yourself, and that's why I have a problem with black people saying the word nigga in front of white people like without relent, because it's like if you're gonna have a problem with them saying it, you kind of gotta tailor how much you say it in front of them. If it's our word, it needs to be used mostly in front of us, right?
Yeah. Right.
If you're gonna have a problem with people that aren't black saying nigga, then you need to not say it in front of them, because you know what I mean? Like if it's a word I can't say and you're saying it, y'all just having fun with it, I'm offended. If y'all playing the game and I can't play, I'm like, why can't I play the game?
Yeah. And see, with him, I'm not even sure. He hasn't said it, but like we've gotten real like I'm hearing him singing the lyrics, and he's with his friends, and I'm like, hey man, and I've had a preliminary conversation, like sometimes things may be in a movie or a song or a thing, and it could be offensive to somebody, and we want to be respectful to people, and so I'm sitting here going through the highlight reel of songs.
Right.
It ain't many songs you can pick that are popular that they don't use that word.
And so that's what I'm worried about. So I'm trying to figure out how do I have that conversation, because
I would just had a conversation with him, and and I maybe watch a black trauma movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe Mississippi Burning, Selma, or something like that, to kind of let him know, like, hey, so I don't understand the dynamic. We're not, they're a part of the American culture, so we're a part of their culture too, and we get to enjoy the things they enjoy, they produce, just like they, we're all a part. We're all Americans, but we all come from different subcultures, maybe. And because there may be a person that looks like you that says it all the time with his friends, but he stays around the corner from them.
Right.
He's only friends with them.
Yep.
And they gave him that pass. You come from a different area code, a different zip code. They may look at you like somebody who is already better or in a better situation. They may use that to start shit with you.
Yeah.
And it's not fair, but at the same time, you have to be cognizant that this word offends people, and at one point in time, it was used as a weapon.
Yeah.
Like I got a new joke about that. You need to hear it. I think it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
It definitely has a painful past. It's what's interesting about this is, I love all people, and I feel like we're all the same. Like we're all people. There's different cultures within humanity, but we're all
essentially the same.
We're all essentially the same.
Have y'all heard that thing that says that we're just a lighter shade of brown? Have y'all seen that? That's going around. There's a guy on TikTok that says we're all technically, like supposedly, I'm a light shade of brown.
Well, race is a.
Have you heard about that?
Looking at y'all through blue lenses, you do look like you look a lot browner than normal.
Maybe a little purple.
I mean, if you think about it, when you tan,
well, race is a.
You don't get whiter. You know what I'm saying? Or like bright white, you get brown.
Yeah, because I'm not white. Like, I mean, there's definitely people that are pale, but like, I don't know. I'm just curious because like there was this thing that went on, and I hate to say TikTok said, but and it was a black guy talking about it, and he was showing like migration patterns.
Yeah.
And different skin pigmentation based on where you ended up.
Right.
and that we all looked very similar in the beginning, and then these over thousands of years.
Somebody said something forever ago. I remember some study, and they were basically saying you can never, if you start with two white people, you can never end up with black skin, but you can get lighter, you can't get darker.
That's not true.
It's not true?
No.
It's not true.
It's
so two white people could fuck, and then through generations.
Well, it's regional, so it depends on we all adapt to our environment. So when you see race is number one, race is a social construct. It's something that we all create from cultures. But biologically, race was created. Well, all humanity came out of Africa. So every human being, and this is solid science, came out of Africa, and modern day humans are about 70-some thousand years old. The oldest Homo sapien remains found are about 300-some thousand years old. They were a little more primitive than us, but basically the same thing. But current modern day humans are about 70-some thousand years old, and there was a big catastrophic event around that time, some kind of a volcanic eruption or something that killed most of humanity. I think it was down to the population was down to maybe 5,000 people or something.
A volcano. Most of humanity.
Oh yeah, super volcano. Yeah, it could happen again too. But
see, I always thought it was dinosaurs.
That was 65 million years ago.
Oh, okay.
So anyway,
5,000 as a population sounds like
that's scary as shit.
Yeah,
so
you had
there have been a couple of groups of people that have left Africa. A couple million years ago, the people Homo erectus, some Homo erectus left Africa, and then they evolved eventually into Neanderthals and inhabited a lot of Europe. They became light-skinned people.
So if they became light-skinned, then what color were they before that?
Well, they'd have been dark-skinned people because they were out of Africa. So that's your body adapts over thousands of years to the climate you live in. So if you live in a colder, less sunny environment, away from the equator, you're going to be lighter skinned. If you're closer to the equator, you're going to be dark skinned.
Right.
And it's just it's biological adaptations to your environment. So, but we're all the same. Biologically, we're all Homo sapiens. We're the exact same species. We just look different because our ancestors lived for thousands of years in different climates.
Yeah, and I guess our
But Neanderthals we're not descendants of Neanderthals. Now, some Homo sapiens did interbreed with Neanderthals, so there's a small amount of Neanderthal DNA in certain humans. Like I've had my genome sequenced. I don't have any, so he's got some.
I got like the top 0.3% on 23.
Homo erectus in me, I think.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Well, we technically all have the Homo erectus because we came from Homo erectus.
This is going over my head a little bit. What's the word you're using?
Neanderthal.
You know what?
Is that the caveman?
We should have had a talk about it. I should have just told you, if you don't understand something, just nod and agree.
Okay.
No, you definitely ask questions.
But my point is race is a social construct, and as we become more and more connected globally, as humanity becomes more connected through technology, when do we reach a level where these things are no longer a problem? We stop, because I don't look at you guys are a different thing than me. We're the same thing.
Right.
And I see a lot of times in society, I see a lot of division that's created by power constructs designed to divide people on arbitrary concepts to make them not work together so that power can rule them. And
I mean, because to your point, race basically is just because the United States, because the colonies exist, because from my understanding, it was where we've got the Native Americans, they're red. We've got all these poor people from Europe, and then we've got all these rich people from Europe, and we need to protect the rich people's interests. So what do? We galvanize all the poor people by making them relate to us through skin tone.
Yes, it's a way to divide people and control them.
Conquer.
And it still happens today. There's 30 or 40 million slaves globally right now.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Like real life?
In real life, like literal slaves.
Like Sudan is having a slave issue.
And
like Sudan, Libya.
Why?
And of different races too.
So we know about this and nothing is happening?
Oh yeah. It's terrible. Yeah, there's some. I mean, humanity. So that's the problem with having power that gets too concentrated. I even have a problem with larger countries. I feel like power always tries to get concentrated, and then like in the U.S. right now, we were talking about this recently. There's companies like BlackRock, the biggest company in the world. They own interest in all companies just about.
Which is crazy.
They almost own everything, and so when you have concentrated power like that, it corrupts everything. So like our government is supposed to regulate and legislate these corporations, but once they're corrupted by the corporations, they do what the corporations want them to do, and then you have a corporatist society that's just completely controlled by runaway corporations. And I have no problem with business. Obviously, we're successful business guys. We own corporations. But our corporations are controlled by us. They're not these giant conglomerates that are like mindless machines that are designed to do something.
Right.
As a businessman, do you all feel like you have a responsibility to help out more because you are, I guess?
Well, see, I think what happens is once a company reaches a certain size, it becomes public. And once it becomes public, then it has a board of directors, and then it has thousands of shareholders, maybe millions. And it starts to, it reaches a level where there's no one controlling this thing, right? It may have a CEO, but if the CEO goes against what the machine does, then the machine ejects the CEO and replaces it. And so it's an autonomous machine designed to do things, and it's going to do them as efficiently as possible, and it's designed to make money. It's designed to make products and make money as efficiently as possible, but it has to follow the law. It has to follow guidelines that our legislators give it. But if the machine corrupts the legislators, then the law allows it to do whatever it wants to do, and then it's no longer controlled by anything. I look at companies like Apple. I know we talked about this last episode, but we all think of Apple as a really good company. We probably all have iPhones. Apple owns slaves. There are companies that are subsidiaries of Apple that have slaves working for them, child slaves. And that's not okay, but the people who regulate that company are corrupted by that company, and it's allowed to do what it does.
But see, this is what I don't understand, because I feel like we live in a day and age with technology now, right? With social media, why isn't these companies being put on blast by media?
Well, the companies control the social media.
Yeah.
They control all media platforms. 90% of the revenue for all these social media companies and media outlets, the corporate media outlets, come from corporations.
You're going to go on your Apple News app and read news about
It's going to
Apple
show you
owning
what it wants to
slaves?
show you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
That's why the positive. The positive is that we do have the ability to share information with each other and have these conversations. And there are 10 times more people watching and reading independent journalists over corporate media now, for that reason, because people know there's something wrong and they're trying to figure out what it is. But I'm not sure what the solution is to it. I mean, you have to decorrupt the system. You have to elect representatives that are not corrupted and that will change the laws to avoid corruption.
So to Juice's question, you guys as business owners, multiple businesses, is that why you're specifically so interested in these things? Is it?
Well, I mean,
what happens if things go according to plan and one of your businesses becomes as big as humanly possible?
I think it's like saying for you guys, like you guys have an interest in comedy, and so I think you should study and learn about things going on in that world constantly, right? So for us, for business, I don't think there's anything new under the sun, right? Like you can improve upon something, speed or efficiency, or from a cell phone was just a telephone without a landline, right? Like, I mean, we can continually improve and advance and things like that, and that's fine, but there's not a whole lot of completely new things going on. So for us, like if you want a good predictor of what you need to do to be successful, we can study other businesses and other corporations. So I think that's what my interest is in it, is I want to see what's working and what's failing and the different business life cycles that various businesses are going through, how changes in the economy, whether local or global, those economies and those economics are affecting those businesses and the types of businesses. And so the more we arm ourselves with this information, it helps us make possibly a decision that to the average person would seem completely unrelated, but to us, we relate it in some way that we find beneficial, and we make decisions. We make decisions all the time that other people disagree with, other business owners disagree with. I would tell you that more times than not, we make good business decisions, and our history has proven that. But we don't necessarily go with the flow of everybody else. And but I think also what you were asking, you were talking about some level of social responsibility. Like, do you feel because we've done well that we have a responsibility to help others or to guide others? Is that kind of what you were hinting at?
Yeah. Like, I mean, yeah. Do you feel responsible or like?
I think what happens with or without the money, if you're a person that one of your goals is to be able to help others, that was there before you had the money.
Yeah.
Having the money does, despite what people think, really at your core, like I've got what most would consider a large amount of money. I wear during the cold season, I'm wearing the exact pants that look just like the same pants every day, same shoes every day, same shirts. And actually, shirts, cold or hot, I wear the same shirt every day, basically. And I wear the same shorts every day. I have like 6 or 7 of the exact same thing. I just wear it every day. I don't think about it. And if you didn't know me, you wouldn't know if I was worth $50 or $50 million. I mean, normally I don't wear any jewelry. I'm not trying to showboat. I'm just me. With or without the money, this is what I'm comfortable in, right? The money just made me more of who I am. So if I was a shit person to begin with, having a lot of money doesn't solve that.
Right.
Right? I just become shit personified. And if you say to yourself, hey, when I get myself taken care of, I will tell you this, it's like being on an airplane. You should put your mask on first before you help the person next to you.
Yeah.
Right? If you don't build systems to keep you and those you care about stable, you cannot help other people. Because if you help other people to your own detriment, you're of no use to anybody.
Yep.
Right? So you need to be building something, and part of that plan B, if you can't give 10% when you're worth $1,000, you're not going to give 10% when you're worth $1 million. You're not going to give 10% when you're worth $100 million, right? So I do think you can do things, but the scale comes with success. So there are things that we've done, different organizations, and normally we never talked about it, but Shazer with Shizzy's Wildcat Reserve and some of the other stuff, we've gotten involved in different organizations. We've built playgrounds and parks, and we've donated to schools. We do quite a few things now. But those things came from being able to do them to the scale we do them was because we had successful companies and we become successful individually. So I don't know that I feel a greater sense of responsibility. I think I feel the same sense of responsibility. Now I'm just able to make a more meaningful impact.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Does owning businesses kind of make you into like more of a colder person? Because I know when it comes to business, you get burnt a lot. Like some deals might just be nasty. You think it's gonna be a great deal, and the guy ends up burning you. How do you maneuver against that?
So that's a good question. It actually goes with what I was going to say.
It's a very good question. Yeah.
Daniel and I are both empathetic people. I'm probably more empathetic than he is, but he's a very empathetic person.
No, you're more empathetic for sure.
Yeah, I'm unusually empathetic, but with that said, I'm still a creator. I'm an entrepreneur, and I've always been an entrepreneur. I feel like everybody in society, we all have our strengths, we all have our weaknesses. It's kind of like what we've been talking about recently about building teams. You need to figure out what people's strengths are so you can figure out where they fit on the team and the best place to utilize their strengths. And even with us, what should I be working on? What should he be working on? Like what makes things the most efficient? Like what are we good at? And with business and entrepreneurship and stuff like that, for me, it's intuitive and it's what I do, and I have to just keep doing it no matter what. And when I'm building a business, I want to build it as big as I can, because that's what I do. That's my strength. So I think, and I do care about humanity. I care about giving back and helping people and encouraging people, and that's part of this show. That is the purpose of the show. And so I think as a society, though, people need to be more aware and more conscious of how the society works. Like what is the function of the society? What's happening in the society? When I see problems in the society with people constantly fighting with each other over arbitrary ideas or or I see communities struggling with violence and drug abuse and things like that, to me, that's a sign of an unhealthy society. When I see school shootings, that's an unhealthy society. There's something wrong with the society that's causing these problems, and I think that's what we should be focused on. And we typically focus on the wrong things. We focus on the surface level things that we see, like drugs or guns or violence, but we're not focusing on what's producing these problems, and it's typically poverty. So I think if you want to have a good society, you have to have a healthy society. You have to eliminate poverty. And I don't think you do it by creating a society with a powerful government that has this socialist-based concept, because then you just centralize power, and the only way that power works is through authority and through physical means. And it's never worked. It's never going to work, because people need to be free. They need to be autonomous, and they need to be able to do what they're good at, and we need a society that helps people figure out what they're passionate about and what they're good at, and if they're not good at anything, at least they're stable.
All right, we're talking about passion. Like, I'm passionate about comedy. Like, I was telling JD and Goolsby, like, I've never been this committed to anything in my life. You know, like, as far as like an activity, or even a job. Like,
well, you show up constantly, and then one of the things that I appreciate about you is you can hang for me when I'm going deep cuts with comedy specials or comedians. I'm like, hey, you should watch, and he's like, I already fucking watched it. I was like, I can tell the new comedians when they are studied up on things that they really give a shit.
Yeah, I did. I studied before I got in, because Richard, like you said, he was in it. He got in 2014, and he was saying like, he was like, what? Because I guess I was going through depression and shit, like most people. You know what I mean? I didn't like just working. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm doing this job that I don't give a shit about. I'm creating this product that I'm fucking up, but nobody sees it. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody. I'm just sitting here, sleeping all day, working all night under fluorescent lights, and I'm not providing the life for my kids and wife that I would like to provide. And I'm just pissing in the wind, basically. And because years ago, I did an introspection. I was like, all right, Eric, what is it about you? Everybody's got a gift. What can you do easy? And it was like, I can make people laugh without even trying most of the time. And then I honed it to where it was like, okay, start trying to make people laugh on purpose, people that you know. And then once I got a hold onto my friends and family, I was like, all right, maybe now you can make strangers laugh. And it was another job, another mindless job where I had to talk to people. I was never a salesman. Like, if you don't want to buy it,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you're not gonna push.
Like, hey man, I got this weed. No thanks. All right.
Somebody else wants this
weed.
Weed.
Somebody wants this weed.
But I bet if you were descriptive about what type of weed it was, and about, you don't have to necessarily be, what's a good salesman? A good salesman just knows their product.
Yeah.
That you don't have to be salesy, right? You don't have to. A salesman's job is to identify an objection and overcome it, right?
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to do that. You can just be the salesman that presents the value of what you have, and if somebody says no, all right, on to the next one, right?
Yeah.
Rather than trying to convince somebody to buy something they don't need. So I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
And if I was in the comedy business and I'm hiring people, you're getting hired. He's getting hired, right? I want people that are passionate about whatever it is. That's what you're going to look for, right? And so I think that makes a lot. The problem is that passion is not going to pay you early on.
Right. I think also one dynamic in our society today is there are less and less small businesses that are decent-sized small business, medium businesses. So, we used to have a lot of manufacturing companies and blue-collar jobs, and then the people that hired people in those jobs were more connected to the workforce. Whereas today you have a lot of people in management positions hiring people that maybe are more disconnected from what those people are doing or don't value those jobs, because a lot of those entry-level jobs, especially in today's society, at least in the United States, those jobs are just jobs that have been replaced by machines yet. So there's not a lot of value in those jobs, those positions. And then
this is the other thing that came from pay raises, by the way. There's been a lot of jobs that have been switched through technology, eliminated.
Yeah, and there will be a lot more over the next 10 years.
Yep.
So I got a question. Quick question. Do you look at like your employees' work ethic outside of their work? Like do you understand their stresses? Like, for example, I was going to Carolina. I'm driving an hour to get there. I got 2 kids. I'm taking full-time classes. I have a job. I still have to pay half my mortgage. I still got to show up, be a coach to my dad. I'm still doing comedy at night. I'm doing all of these tasks, and I'm still expected to go do these exams and take these tasks and do my job. So do y'all see your employee struggles outside of work? Do you offer mental health days? Do you believe in that? Do you believe what's at home should stay at home?
So the job of the business, the duty of the business is to fulfill the need of the customer. And if what you're saying is that I'm going to employ people that are going to disable my ability to fulfill the need of the customer, then my business will go out of business eventually. Right? Now, that being said, do we try to be aware and or sympathetic and try to work with people? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because we don't have a 9-to-5 role. Matter of fact, people I employ, we have gyms and boxing areas and full bars and food. And I bring my personal barber in to my facilities twice a month. And everybody's out. You bring your kids. I don't care. It's on me. Only thing I ask is you take care of a tip. Throw them $5, throw them a couple bucks, right? So we do try to do things for our people. That being said, though, we still have to take care of business, right? And if any company that stops taking care of the business, right, if they, they will eventually go out of business because the competition will take it. And the way I know that for a fact is that's how I've put other people out of business. I've taken their market share because I employ people that do whatever it takes to get it done, that have this grand vision or goal for their life, and they're willing to work 100 hours a week for 3 or 4 years to live the following 20 or 30 years like no other, right? So I need that hyper-focused individual. That's the people that we recruited. And as such, our company grows like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, and we do a lot of consulting too, so we also have to put in a lot of effort into our clients.
Right. So let me flip it for you. So small business owner, you got a lot going on, you got things coming on, and you decide tomorrow you're not showing up to work, right? Because you need a day, you need a mental health day. And I got to call 11 clients tomorrow that aren't going to receive their product or service, and I got to let them know, and they cancel, and I lose all 11 orders. And those 11 orders are worth $18,000 to the company, right, in revenue. Right? Now I've lost $18,000 because you needed one day. Right? So you got to look at it from both sides. So then you go, okay, well, you need more staff. Okay, now the operating costs for the company are going up because I'm going to hire another staff person because I'm going to give you this flexibility based on what you've got going on. And then now this staff person's upset because, you're educating yourself and you're a family man and you're doing these things. You got a lot of stresses, so you're only able to give about 30% of the same effort he's willing to give, but yet you're making the same money. Right? Now, this guy, he's like, man, I don't give a shit that he's got kids. I don't care that he's going to school. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm here doing the same job. I'm getting paid the same money. I'm not going to give you the same level of effort or you're going to give me more money. So now you got to give this guy more money. So now, you see what I'm saying? Like, the problem is every single action has an opposite reaction that's going to take place. So it's a crazy balancing act. So we try to do the best we can. And we try to recruit people. Like, I encourage you. But I will tell you this. I'm at Harvard right now. I run 39 corporations. I got 3 kids. I got a wife. I've spent the last decade working 100 hours a week. It's a balancing act, right? But I didn't take no days off. I didn't get a mental health day, right? I just had to show up.
You say Harvard?
How do you balance that, though?
It's virtually impossible, right? And now I'm down.
You're constantly trying to figure it out.
It's constant. It's a constant juggle, right? And then if you're in business, you're accountable to your customer. You're also accountable to your partners. You're accountable to your staff, right? So it's constant. Everybody, when I walk in the building, everybody's trying to get my attention, right? Like it's nonstop. And I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, like, where you're at in your life, add $50 million, you're probably going to still be having some of the same challenges, right? If you're a productive person, right, you're going to have some of the same challenges. The money might change some of the things, but again, if you didn't know me, you wouldn't know if I'm worth $50, right? I mean, I could be worth $50 million. I get the same problems you got, and I don't know what your net worth is, but I get the same stuff, the same challenges, same struggles.
Like, I feel what you're saying, like, as far as like needing a mental health day. But if you work for Bank of America or AT&T, and it's 1,000 employees on the floor all the time,
that's a different thing. I'm talking about small business. I'm talking about small businesses,
but
right?
Like I work for a small business owner. Like,
but now I'll tell you,
me. It's like me and another dude.
That's what I'm saying. So how does it affect if you're running events, and let's say every event you ran, you were getting $2,500. Let's just say things are going well. You run an event, and so now you start to duplicate yourself. You hire on somebody to run events for you, right? So you're running an event, and you got another guy running an event, and he doesn't show up because he needed a day. Now you've lost $2,500, but you didn't lose just $2,500. You had that event twice a month. That's $60K a year.
Yeah.
You just lost a $60,000 a year contract because this guy couldn't show up for one day because he had a bad day. That's the problem. Like, as a small business owner, you just can't. How do you plan for that?
Yeah.
Right.
And I'll tell you, man, there's about to be some studies coming out, a lot of them, and Tesla's dealing with it right now, but there are a lot of people that are not working from home. Like, they're lying. They're collecting full paychecks. Productivity is down by 80%, and they want to remain remote workers because they don't want to work, and they've been getting full checks for 20% of the effort. Yeah. And Tesla, I don't know if you saw yesterday, the day before, but he just said, hey, if you don't want your job, go work for somebody else. If you don't want to work, go work for somebody else.
If you don't want to come in, go work for somebody else.
Exactly.
And
so you're about to see that too. So now I'm not saying you're the guy that takes advantage, but it's like you got to look at all these things too. Like,
I'll say this: I had to work the entire pandemic, like all of it.
I did too, yeah.
And I have noticed that restaurants are understaffed.
Absolutely.
When you go to a lot of restaurants, you're getting what seems like poorer service.
Yeah.
It's hard to get like Amazon. You still get your packages on time, like UPS, because they still work. But it seems like a lot of people stayed at home.
Yeah.
And now they're doing stuff that they aren't, passionate about. We're just back at work. Yeah. And at one point, because I was jealous of people who were getting $600 unemployment and then $600 extra on people were making $1,000 a week.
Yep.
And I was making like $400 a week.
Well, so they don't see how far they got behind. So they lost that time in their life that they could have been. Not everybody is like you. Not everybody is trying to improve themselves in all areas of their life, which is what you're doing. You're focusing on your family. You're focusing on your wife. You're focusing on your education, your mental health, maybe your physical health. You're focusing on all these things and working, but not everybody's doing that, right? So like with you, if you were part of our company, we would realize that about you, and we would try to build some type of hybrid system that worked for you, right?
Like what do you like the areas you're trying to improve in? We would try to find a place for you to use those skills that you're gaining and that potential.
Yeah, you're a high level person. We would work with you for sure. But the problem is that, well, like what he's saying though is, you're the minority, right? You are, because most people, and I mean I got people I care about that this fits them to a T. Most people, if they get the $1,000 a week, they lose incentive.
They done.
They're done, and they stopped improving. What this does is it's another social program that creates. There's some word for it, but it's a drip. If you know that you're getting X, you will not go out here and conquer the world. You lose motivation. You lose the ability to chase these dreams because the government's giving you something, right? And I feel like that's a disservice. I think you should have a floor. I don't think we should have starving people. I think there's a lot of programs I want to bring people up, but you have to do it in a way that does not.
It has to incentivize people to work.
But to your point, like I believe everything happens for a reason. I missed out on a job where I was gonna make like $600 a week because of some personal decisions that I made that are silly. We all make them.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I won't say it out loud. Who knows?
Well, you could say the reason you didn't get it is because you made those decisions.
Yeah, the reason I didn't get it is because I made those decisions and I didn't. And I thought I could beat it, but I didn't. Yeah. But it turns out, to me now it's a blessing because had I got that job, Richard kind of bullied me. Juice kind of bullied me into comedy because I always had the ambition. I just didn't. It was one of those things where I was zombified. I had $500 a week consistently.
Yeah. It's called golden handcuffs,
right?
Man.
And when I got off work, I didn't want to. I just wanted to play the game. I didn't want to do anything extra. I didn't want to. Chasing a dream is hard. It's hard because it's embarrassing when it doesn't work.
Yep.
Like you probably seen all of us bomb.
Yeah.
You probably seen all of us bomb.
I respect the process though.
Right.
That's part of my mind, the way it works.
Right. But so you seen all, so you can probably empathize. Like, oh, that doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
And when you go out here and you bomb.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
It's the worst feeling ever.
But when you get like 5 laughs, but when they laugh at that joke you wrote, you were like, yeah, they're gonna laugh at this, and they laugh at it. The only thing that can replicate it is like scoring a touchdown or making like a 3-point shot at the end of the game, like a 3-point shot in the middle of the second quarter.
It's a winning shot.
Yeah.
Every set.
Yeah. It's like I compare. Somebody asked me, I was like, it's like having a kid, but it doesn't take 9 months.
Like that.
Like it's just a fraction of that. You know what I mean? Like that was the best feeling in the world, and I can get a shot of that.
Yeah.
So when you figured out that you wanted to do comedy, you were already in it.
Yeah.
And that was.
Yeah, and it was one of those things like, dude, you're not funny. And he was like, yeah, I am funny. Come see me. And I was like, bro, I don't have to see you. Like, you might be funny, but you're not funnier than me. And he just kept like, yeah, you said you're funny. Come on. You said you're funny. Come. I was like, I'm going to do it this year.
Yeah.
And then November rolled around. He was like, all right, man, you said you're going to do it this year. I was like, bro, I got 2 months left. Calm down. And we came in there that night, and that's how he got his name that night, because he was.
Oh my God! Of
course. I'm gonna tell this story forever. Anytime we do anything together, I'm gonna tell this story because this dude is a big Kanye West fan. Mm-hmm. I'm a Kanye West fan, but I'm like not that huge a Kanye West fan. But I get it because he's kind of like Kanye-esque. Like if a chick was into Kanye, she was obsessed with Kanye, and she ran into Juice, she'd be like, you know what? He's not Kanye, but
he's the best Kanye I can get.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
I got Yeezys ones right now.
Right, yeah.
You too?
Yeah, he was calling himself Roblo.
Yeah,
because that was like,
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and I was like, bro, why you calling? He's like, oh yeah, for Kanye, and I was like, Kanye not a comedian. Your name's not Kanye or Rob Lowe or any. I was like, Rob Lowe is an actor who you don't want to be associated with.
They
like,
got confused for that a lot.
Exactly. People are like Rob Lowe.
Rob Lowe's a good actor though.
He's a good actor, but he's got those allegations.
The Adkins commercials?
No, he's like, apparently apparently he likes younger women.
Oh.
Yeah. And I was like, dude, you don't even know who Rob Lowe is. He was like, it's Pablo. It's like The Life of Pablo. I was like, Kanye is off of that album, bro. He's like 2 albums removed. Your name is Juice. They gave you a superstar name. Nobody's name is Juice. He was like, yeah, it's on my birth certificate. I was like, duh. I was like, bro, you are fucking Juice Adkins. Go be Juice Adkins. Eric Brown and Juice Adkins. That makes sense. I don't know who Rob Lowe is. And then he went in there and he put it on the list. And Trendy was hosting, and Trendy was like, Juice?
Oh, yeah.
He's like, who the fuck? We said no nicknames.
That is the thing I fucking hate, man. If somebody comes in and they are Shaka the Entertainer, it's like, get the fuck out of here. Your name's Bob.
Right, exactly, yeah.
How did your first, how was your first set?
In the moment, I was like, I did great.
Yeah.
I did awesome. And then I go back and look at it a year later, and I was, this was terrible.
I mean, that's always how it is, right?
Yeah.
You see the effort that you put in up front. You should grow past it.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah. If you look back at the shit you did a year ago and you're like, that's the best, you are not getting any better.
Yeah.
But in the moment, I was on fire. Like, I could feel my aura. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah, whatever color it is, it's shining right now.
I'm going to eventually get up there and bomb. So I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not.
You wouldn't be the first person. You never know. You know what I mean?
Hey, Rooster. Was it Rooster? You remember that?
Oh,
I put that white dude that got up there and then drove into oncoming traffic out as he left.
Oh, he left so quick. Yeah. It is
have y'all seen him again?
No, not yet. The one of the worst things that could happen to you, I think, is not being very good going up and then it working out pretty well.
Yeah.
That's a specific type of torture that I've seen replay itself over and over again, where it's somebody who's not good.
Yeah.
They go up, they have a great time, and then they, for the next year and a half, think they're good, and they suffer every time it's not good. And I think it's better to go up, not be good, and know you can get better. That seems like less of a torture.
It's funny you say that. In business, we say the same thing. It's a curse to be successful in your first thing.
Yeah,
because early on, that's what I was worried about. That I was like, is this real? Are people really laughing at, like, am I? Because JD's laugh is so it is worth 10 laughs.
It's a lot.
Because when he doesn't laugh, you're like, well, JD didn't laugh. All you people laugh, but JD didn't. So what's happening?
I like to find the people in the audience whose laughs have more power than other people.
Yeah.
And then I don't even have to do comedy anymore. I can just make that person laugh, and the 10 people around them will laugh, and then the people around them will laugh.
I just saw this fucking fly.
Right.
I've gone on stage and not made any sense whatsoever and made everyone in the room laugh because I made 2 people laugh.
I laugh when you rub the damn wall. He's be rubbing this wall. I'm like, what the fuck is he doing?
Yeah, just get lost. I'm trying to find something or like some sort of sensory spark or whatever it is.
To that defense, like when I got the feeling, I did realize I was like, okay, there isn't any money in this right now.
But that's okay.
Yeah, but I want to. But I don't.
There's not any
stop
money
doing
in it
this.
at the time because you're
Right.
developing a craft, right?
But I don't ever want to stop doing it.
But how do you monetize it, right? Long term. Well, until you can, you got to figure out a way to live, right?
Supply and demand.
But yeah, exactly. Well,
I don't-
and then
I don't think there are very many comedians who started out to make money that ended up making money. I
Right.
think, and the people who got into it for the art and didn't want the money, they end up making money. But the people who find team make the most money.
I agree.
It's
Jay
there's something
Leno
about-
just talked about that
Did he
literally,
really?
and I don't follow comedians, but Jay got up and I told Neil, I was like, man, you'd have loved it too. But he was talking about how he started, and the first time he got a check for like $200, and the $200 was not even enough to reimburse him for
Yep.
the drive out and the hotel.
Right.
Like, so basically he made negative money, right?
Right.
Like, but he had been working and then he had been pursuing this passion for an extended period of time and never not making any money, right? But when he's talked about that, he talked about building teams and networks of people and deciding to make the move, that he made and like this process that he went through is very similar to the things that I hear you guys say.
But that is where I'm at right now. Like I want to do. I don't want to have to monitor. Oh, I'm not going to do this if you don't pay me this. I'm not going to do that. I want to be able to do whatever. I want to be able to fuck off $1,000 to go do. Try to go do every stage in Atlanta.
Yeah, you should.
You know what I mean? But I can't.
And that's what he basically said. He basically said he always had two things going on. He had to in the beginning.
Yeah.
Right.
And then in the end, and I think he never used any of his.
He never spent any of the Tonight Show money.
Yeah.
He just used his endorsement money, his special appearances. It's the same thing Jason Tatum does
Yeah.
in the NBA.
Yeah.
He hasn't spent a dime of his NBA contracts, which is fucking genius.
It's hard not to get a Bentley when you got $10 million.
Yeah, man. But
Sitting there.
that's what I love is I see these pro athletes who now have multi-million-dollar contracts in there. Kawhi Leonard, I think, drove the same.
Yeah.
I think it's a Kia Sorrento for the first 5 years of his
I love
NBA.
Now they said he probably got a Kia Sorrento now. That
Yeah.
kid gave him, but
Yeah.
but it was like a '95 Suburban,
Yeah, something like that.
and
yeah.
like if something went wrong, he would just get it fixed.
It's a wild thing, and you have a opposite thing with comedy, like where you want to go burn $1,000 to go do every stage in Atlanta.
Yeah.
That's the thing you need to do. For you to go do that, you lose a ton of money every time you
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
comedy. But that is the only thing that makes you better is going out and doing it so often. And there's sacrifice when you walk through the door. Period. If you think you're gonna get into probably anything, but for me, I know for sure, any good thing I've had out of comedy only came because I sacrificed 10 times that at some point. You know what I mean?
And that's one thing I'll say. It was recognized. Like I did recognize sacrifices. That like I don't hang out with my non-comedy friends like that. You know what I mean? Anymore because I want to be at a comedy club.
Yeah.
If you want to hang out with me, you like.
You're
gotta
always
come.
you are one of the last people out
Yeah.
front of the comedy club every time
Right.
and I used to be. You couldn't get me to fucking leave. I'd stand out there till 3 a.m. if people were hanging out, and now I got to leave. I'm a little older, but
Right, and I would like 1 o'clock. My feet hurt sometimes. Like now, now that the weather's warmer, I'll probably be out there till 12:30, 1 o'clock every Thursday. Every Thursday I'm there. But because I love it. Like I got into it, and I feel more comfortable in a comedy club with sad comedians than I like as a coach. Like I coached youth football. I enjoyed it, but I always felt like it wasn't really who I was. I'm competitive, but I'm not like screaming about kids competitive.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I scream at kids competitive a little bit, but not like, all right, man, John Johnson, he didn't get to carry the ball today. Like, bro, what do you want me to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're trying to win the game too, right? Don't you want to win? Or you want to win, or you want everybody to touch
winning
the ball?
does feel better. Does the competitive nature come out in comedy at all for you? It did with me for a very long time. I had to get rid of it at some point, but I still do have it a little bit. I love the first time I took JD on the road with me a little bit, and I took him out one time, and he killed in front of me, and I did fine, but he killed in front of me, and I remember hating it so much that he proved he was better than me that night,
Right.
and I loved it too because I was like,
Yeah.
I slowed down enough for him to catch up, and now he caught up. I got to get ahead of him again.
On
And
a-
I love him, and I want him to always be as good as he can be, but I want to be better.
On a regular show, if Juice go up before me, he kill. I'm probably gonna come behind him and kill. I'm not-
yeah.
Like you know what I mean? But it's not gonna be because I got to outdo him. It's because the room is set, the tone is set. There's no reason for me if my jokes work and they've been working most of the time. There's no reason for them not to work.
That is true. I'd rather go behind or after a really good comic than a really bad
bomb.
comic.
Yeah, because now you gotta now you don't know. But at a competition, it gets weird because I'm not trying to be funny. I gotta make sure I'm funnier than Juice now. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, because if I'm not funnier than him, I'm not gonna win. I could be, if I'm as funny as him, great show. I was funny, he was funny. Yeah. But if I don't get the $150 after this, so what? I was funny.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm out $140, $150, $160 because I had to pay $10 to do this, and now I don't have the money. You know, and now I could have put that $10 in my tank to get back and forth to work for a couple more days.
Yep.
Now I'm assed out, and when you bomb, it feels bad, and when you do good and lose, it feels bad. So it takes away the dopamine rush that you get from doing good.
Yeah.
Because you'll be up, and then they'll announce somebody else's name. It's like, fuck.
Yeah.
I lost.
EB was in the comments a while back. You said something, I think, on the Tom Simmons episode.
I mean, you can show Tom how to make like $1 million, and I was like, I bet.
No, absolutely. Tom is
it'd be pretty easy with Tom.
Tom would be very easy. Yeah. So,
but he was saying, where does he sign up?
Yeah. Where's this class? How much is that? Like, because they've been offering class. Oh, it's
free. It's free as far as when we're talking about money. It's not free when it comes to sacrifice and dedication. The problem is you're going to do a lot of things you don't want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
That's the issue.
More than likely.
But I mean, because if you want to chase a passion, that's fine. Until that passion pays you, you have to do something else.
I mean, I get up every day and
there you go
to work.
That's what I'm saying.
I got to do that. Yeah. I would love to just sit at home and like.
But see, and that's great. So you're doing what you got to do to take care of yours, and then you're also pursuing your passions. I like that. That's good. But I would also say that's rare.
But and that's what sometimes like I don't like I get it. Like so you see a lot of comedians out here, like they just Charlotte Riley, Wilmington, whatever. You know what I mean? Like and I respect that, but it's like I can't.
Take that time away.
I can't take that time away.
Yep.
That's a problem because that's another reason I had to quit coaching youth football. Because I would get off work, I'd pick the kids up from school, not even hop in the shower, go to practice. I'm out there from 5:30 to 7:30, come right home, get in the shower, walk out the door, go to open mic, and I've now been gone 5 hours.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I've been out of the house 5 hours.
It's a commitment every time you do it.
Yeah.
That was one of the sacrifices I had to make when I was like, fuck it, I'm doing comedy. It was my role with my family had to change. I couldn't be the 24/7.
Right.
You know what I mean? That I was before. I just
Right.
I had to go live in a van for a little while.
Yeah. And before I made it, I lived in boiler room floors, literally a mattress on the floor in Colorado. And after I lost everything, I restarted. I lived with 2 other grown ass men in a studio apartment, which basically is, they call it a 1-bedroom, but the bedroom is the living room, right? And the kitchen is in the living room, and we had mattresses on the floor that we slept in the floor together, and we slept in the floor together because you also stay warm a little bit better that way. Like it just was what it was, but. You
have relationships with those people you struggled with?
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
One of them's in this building right now, and net worth's over $1 million too. So
that's how I feel with like what you guys are going through with the comedy right now. These are the people that the friends you pick up in this are the ones you will have for a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
he's struggled with me. He's made money with me.
Yep.
And I think it's a beautiful thing.
Right, and that's what I think I told Juice that the other day. I was like, if we're taking this where everybody who does comedy eventually wants it to go, the people that we meet now, the guys who punch us up for free, they the people that's people that's in the trenches with them, the ones that you can really trust. It'll be the people that come around
afterwards,
after the fact,
when you got nothing to give.
Yeah.
Where can people find you online if they do want to come check out your shows and stuff?
On Facebook, who TF is Eric Brown. It was Eric Brown Comedy, and I was like, it's too generic. You know what I'm saying? So who the fuck is Eric Brown? Who TF is Eric Brown on Facebook? That's where I'll be posting like video like.
You're over on TikTok and all that stuff.
I'm on TikTok. Is you know what I'm saying? It's what I'm saying. I'm Instagram is L's Dad Comedy. YouTube is Eric Brown Comedy.
And he's on Nintendo Switch, and I fuck him up on Mario Kart constantly.
Yes. Oh, and I'm on Twitch now.
Oh, hell yeah.
So maybe you can see Eric trying to fuck me up on Mario Kart, like, you know what I'm saying, and on live.
Juice, where can people find you on
Instagram, Facebook, Juice Adkins 95, Twitter, Richard J. Adkins. I got like 9,000 followers talking sports.
Hey,
I do a little sports podcast myself. TikTok, Sports with Juice. Do a bunch of sports takes. I'm probably going to actually do the bet that I'm doing tonight on air.
I need 10%.
And then June 11th, I'm actually hosting at the Idiot Box for the Magician coming.
Oh, hell yeah.
So,
Oh, cool.
Yep. Make sure to come through for that.
So, and then
Whoa.
June 17th, we'll both be in Roanoke.
Yep.
Both be in
BNBA,
Roanoke.
June 17th.
Versus Listening Center.
Yep.
That should be dope. Because like I said, usually we've only been on one show together, and it was a pretty good.
I might be on that show too. Is that with one of LA shows?
Yeah.
Oh, you
Yeah,
guys
nice,
are
I may
nice.
be on that
on the
show.
same show.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Maybe,
that'd be dope. You can drive. Nah.
I can drive. Yeah,
I was like,
I don't mind. Yeah.
nah, I'm not kidding.
I don't mind at all. Yeah.
Gas is expensive.
You got it, boy. And then of course UCC, and I'll be doing the roast of Stone Cold Steve Austin at Comic Dimensions June.
Oh, nice.
Plug.
It's on the 24th right now, but I think we might be able to reschedule. I think we got some pull in that venue because the UCC will be on that night as well.
Gotcha.
So
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm one of the owners of that place.
yeah, I know exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why I
That's
said
why you plugged it.
I think we're able to reschedule. Like,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
you know, we need to kind of push this. Let's do this Saturday, or Sunday, whatever. You know, and that's gonna be fun. I hope that's gonna be. I mean, I don't hope it's gonna be fun. I got to get.
It'll be fun.
I got to get my wrestler right. But I'm actually hyped for that. I can't wait to.
Yeah.
Just got to get my eyebrow. I'll tell everybody.
Oh, you're doing The Rock.
I'm doing the rock. Got to get my eyebrows
Oh,
right.
nice.
I got.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on the show. Really enjoyed it.
Thanks for
Awesome.
having us.
We'll have you back.
Great to be here.
Yep.
Can't wait to get back.
Hey.
Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe. We'll see you next week.
Later,
Bye,
guys.
guys.